Bob Papa along with Teddy Atlas. And you get a look at Pat Coleman. Coleman is from Chicago, Illinois. He's 29 years of age. He has a record of 25-5 with 19 knockouts. Has never been stopped in his career. He's been in against some good competition. And his opponent tonight is José Antonio Rivera from Worcester, Massachusetts. 26 years of age is Rivera, with a professional record of 31-1 with 21 knockouts. And you saw him wearing that fireman hat, and it has nothing to do with a fancy nickname. He is paying tribute to firemen who lost their lives in Worcester, Massachusetts earlier this week. That is where Rivera is from, and he is dedicating this fight tonight to those who lost their lives trying to save lives.
Good evening, gentlemen. You were both given your instructions in the dressing room. Both of you touch gloves. Touch gloves. Oh, I leave it with you. Go.
So Rivera, with a heavy heart, will go out tonight and square off against Pat Coleman. We saw Rivera here on Friday Night Fights in July in Cape Cod. Fifth round stoppage of Kip Diggs. We'll get into that in just a little bit. Also fought Teddy Reed, who was supposed to fight tonight against Vivian Harris, but Reed pulled out with a bad back. His only loss to Willie Wise back in 1996, a 10-round decision. As for Coleman, a high water mark and a low water mark all came from the same night, June the 11th of 1996, against Darryl Coley, who will fight Oscar De La Hoya, as Brian Kenny mentioned, the press conference scheduled for next week. He had basically won the fight, Teddy, with a 10-round win. But he failed the post-fight drug test and was not able to win the NABF title.
Like you said, of course, Coley, a talented guy, top-rated fighter. And that's not the first time that a problem like that has happened in Coleman's career. Back in '95, he knocked out Anthony Jones in one round, former world title challenger Anthony Jones. And that result was changed to a no contest for the same reason. He failed the post-fight drug test. So he's had problems outside the ring, but from all reports, he's a talented guy in the ring. He can obviously punch. And Rivera is taking a lot of risks tonight.
Sure is. I mean, he's also been in against Buddy McGirt, lost a 10-round decision to McGirt in 1994. So both of these guys have been in against some decent competition in their career. Probably Coleman with the better competition, but obviously, as Teddy mentioned, post-fight drug tests seem to be his biggest hurdle.
Whereas tonight he's coming off a year and 8 months of inactivity. That doesn't help him any. And that kind of fits in there with outside problems. Usually when there's outside problems, there's inactivity. He's looking to sneak that right hand in there on Rivera. Rivera better be careful not walking into that right hand, because you can see there it is again, that time in the form of an uppercut. Coleman's a good puncher. And Rivera's right there to get hit. This is going to be a tough fight for Rivera, you can see.
As you mentioned, Coleman does have the 19 knockouts and 2 more that weren't counted because of the testing.
What Coleman likes to do is he likes to dip that left shoulder a little bit, pull that right head back a little bit, and throw the counter right hands. And Rivera, when he throws a jab, walks straight into it sometimes.
Hey, it looks like there's some blood on the bridge of the nose of Rivera. Some blood coming from the nose as well. Good right hand hurt Rivera. Right on the chin.
Dangerous guy, Coleman. Now he should go to the body and set it up, because Rivera's doing what guys do when they're hurt. He's moving his head and surviving. This is where Coleman should be going to the body. You see it all the time. Guy gets hurt. The instinct is go to the head. Should go to that body.
Closing seconds of the first round. A right hand to the chin by Pat Coleman, the big punch.
Just west of Ridgedale on 394 lies a superb selection of over 500 pre-owned cars, trucks, and sport utilities. A combination of 3 top Twin Cities dealerships: Village Chevrolet, Lexus of Wayzata, and Wayzata Mitsubishi. A center for selection, savings, and service. You'll find nearly every make and model here. And our big bargain lot has cars and trucks from $899. It's all in one location, 1 mile west of 494 on 394, just west of Ridgedale. Nobody delivers more for less.
Did you know there's a place a few blocks from downtown on the West Bank of the U of M called Seven Corners? What's the two best things about Seven Corners? Sergeant Preston's and Bullwinkle's. What's so great? Well, let's see. 1, great menus full of delicious food. 2, about a zillion types of imported, domestic, and micro beers. 3, pool and game areas. 4, tons of fun people to hang around with. 5, free shuttle of professional and college sporting events. Well, I could go on, but you can see there are hundreds of reasons to come to 2 great places on Seven Corners. Before Vikes, Wolves, or Gophers, come to Seven Corners.
Little subtle setup there, a little dip with Coleman's left shoulder, and then he brings it up top with the right hand. Makes the guy think he's going low. Comes up high.
Round number 2 underway. Rivera rocked from that right hand in round number 1. Rivera was born in Philadelphia, but fighting out of Worcester.
Rivera to win this fight, to have a chance to get through this fight on his feet, not only to win it. He's going to have to make some adjustments, Bob. He's a little predictable. He's walked straight in. He's a real gutsy son of a gun, but he's a walk-in straight guy, and he can't keep walking into those right hands.
Right hand from Rivera. Again, a lot of blood on the nose of Rivera, and I think he's got a cut on the bridge of the nose. There's another right hand from Coleman.
Coleman's found a home in that first round with the right hand. And you know what they say, if it's not broke, don't fix it. So he's not changing. He's going with that right hand. And to Rivera, it's Rivera's job to do something to take that away from Coleman.
And Teddy, let's face it, you mentioned it. I mean, we do at least 3 or 4 fights a week on the air. And you always stress it in every fight. When a guy's not doing well or when a guy's doing well, the jab. And Coleman is starting everything off with his jab.
Yes, he is. He's established some distance with that. Also, he's making the guy forget about the right hand for a second, and then he can go back to the right hand. He's making him know that he has 2 hands. Because right now, the right hand has been the most explosive part of his weaponry. Coleman, that is. But he makes Rivera worry about that left hand, and then he can sneak the right hand in. The idea is to throw it in spots. You throw it all the time, the guy's ready. You're right, there's a cut right in the middle of the bridge of the nose. That's where that blood's coming from, Bob, from Rivera. Reminds you of years ago when Rocky Marciano with Edgar Charles was split right down the middle of his nose. It's not as bad as that. And of course, there's no Rocky Marciano or Edgar Charles in the ring right now. But Marciano's nose was split right down the middle. And he was told in his corner he got 1 more round. He went out there and got rid of the great Edgar Charles.
Right hand from Rivera. And those seated at ringside like us need to break out the slickers.
Again, Rivera, a real gutsy guy. Doing it with plain work here. But he's got to watch he don't walk into the right hand because Coleman's using that left hand to set up the right hand. And every once in a while, Coleman slips or pulls back to his right and throws that right hand. Rivera's got to take that away from him. He's got to feint before he comes in, Bob. Not walk straight into that right hand. Get the right hand out of the way, then come in.
Well, Coleman looks sharp tonight.
Rivera would do well to move a little bit to his right, too, away from that right hand, since that's the big problem in front of him.
Head to the end of round number 2. Good bout. Coleman and Rivera.
So, Jimmy, who's the best Super Bowl team ever?
Well, Rebecca, football is a complicated sport most women don't understand. But I'd have to say Dallas and their gloomy day defense.
You mean Doomsday defense?
Then there's the Pittsburgh Satin Curtain.
No, Steel Curtain.
Whatever. At least we both drink Miller Lite because it tastes great, right?
Well, actually, I like it because it's less filling, but it's nice to drink with such a football expert.
You know, I was a guard for the Packers.
Jimmy, you were parking lot security.
Taste the true Pilsner.
Are you looking down my shirt?
You're so digital, Terry.
And you're so analog, Howie. What's this? A golf scope for measuring distance to the pin.
Golf Scope Radio Shack. My game could use this.
So I've heard.
Another cool gift from Radio Shack.
If you're calling your village, collect calls with 1-800-CALL. AT&T can save you big bucks. It's the same low rates every minute, everywhere. 1-800-CALL AT&T.
You have saved big bucks, my son.
Boxing promoter Dino Duma ringside with Ike Corte, who had a war with Oscar De La Hoya. Ike, one of the quality welterweights out there. We'll be seeing him in the near future.
Guy who's been inactive and is going to be getting active again.
Corte Corte and De La Hoya had a pretty interesting fight. Of course, De La Hoya came away with the win against Ike Corte. Round number 3 underway between Rivera and Coleman. Rivera was stunned right near the end of round number 1, a right to the chin. The ropes kept him up. Coleman going for the home run. Remember, Coleman has not fought since April of 1998. Teddy sort of wondered about how much he has in the tank. He's got to go 10 tonight. Rivera has been active. This is his 5th fight of 1999.
That's a good question about Coleman, because that has been his problem. It's not talent. It's being consistent or inconsistent so far in his career and not getting the most out of his talent. Rivera's the opposite. Doesn't have the talent of Coleman, but he's got a real good work ethic, a lot of heart, and he does it the old-fashioned way. He just earns it, and he throws a lot of punches, and that's what he's doing this round. He just has to watch he doesn't walk into one of those bombs.
Slapping left hand from Coleman. Eddie, Coleman doesn't mess around with any of his punches. When he throws them, he's throwing them to hurt his opponent.
That's why he can be out-hustled sometimes, too. If he doesn't knock a guy out, sometimes he can be outworked, out-busy, out-hustled. You can see in those spots where he's not doing anything, he allows his opponent to be busy.
Blood coming from the nose of Rivera, both from the inside of the nose and from the bridge of the nose.
Power is a great thing. It's a great eraser. You can be behind, all of a sudden you're winning the fight. You can keep your opponent real tentative, but it also can be a detriment. Sometimes you depend on it too much, you don't do the other things you need to do. And another guy, like Rivera, who's not as talented, has to do all those other things, like keep his ratio of punches up and use his jab. Just be busy and solid. Right there you can see good move by Rivera. Picked the spot with the right hand, then got out before anything came back. He's getting an opportunity here, Rivera, to work. Because like you pointed out before, Coleman has that power, but he only uses it in spots. He's allowing Rivera to have a decent round here.
And Rivera does have pop, 21 knockouts in his 32 pro bouts. Better round for Rivera.
Introducing the 2000 Daewoo Nubira. Its styling is admired from Rome to Paris. Its engineering has a track record on the highways of Germany. And its 333 Value Plus program provides 3 years of roadside assistance, factory warranty, and all scheduled maintenance at no extra charge. For under $11,000, welcome to a whole new world. The Nubira from Daewoo.
On the foul line of life you stand alone, but that's not the way it has to be. Everyone needs a family. Taking a three-point shot for love, taking the bus on the big game day, taking a charge for the team you play for, taking a chance, going all the way. There's nothing you can't do, cause there's no I in team, but there's definitely a you.
Hoops Malone, brought to you by College Hoops, is coming soon to ESPN.
We are back at the Blue Horizon in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Bob Papa along with Teddy Atlas. Earlier tonight, Billy Irwin stopped Jose Ramos in round number 4 with a couple of left hooks to the body. Still to come, Vivian Harris and Gary St. Clair in our main event. Right now, Jose Rivera and Pat Coleman underway. Round number 4, scheduled 10-round bout. Rivera was rocked in the final 30 seconds of round number 1 with a right hand to the chin by Coleman. First couple of rounds for Coleman were good. Rivera settled down in round number 3 and had a better round.
Again, Rivera comes in a little predictably straight in. Right now he's getting away with it because Coleman is not picking him up as he comes in. Coleman's waiting a little bit too much. Again, that power sometimes can be a detriment. Coleman depended on him, figured when he throws it, he'll get rid of his guy. Meanwhile, he could be out hustled a little bit.
There's Teddy's scorecard. He gave the second round even. He gave the second round to Coleman. And Rivera gets rocked here, a right hand and a left hand, then a left hook to the body by Coleman.
And Rivera's right in front of him. And when Coleman does move his hands, he's able to find something. And he's moving him around pretty good there, going up and down.
Coleman just missed with a roundhouse right.
His hands, he controls the rounds, both in the power department and in the speed department. What Rivera needs to do is get off and get out, not lay in front of Coleman, because the weakness of Coleman is sometimes he needs you in front of him to get off. Doesn't deal with movement real well. You can see that. Coleman's a little bit one-dimensional himself. If you're in front of him, he can get off pretty good. If you don't wait for the receipt, like Rivera did there, you can get off and you can get out and leave Coleman waiting a little bit and maybe have a chance to outbox him and out-hustle him.
Okay, I have a medical question for you. Maybe as a trainer you might be able to answer it. Of course, your dad was a doctor as well, but Rivera has been bleeding profusely since round number 1. Blood from inside the nose and the bridge of the nose. I mean, a lot of blood. Does that have an effect on a fighter as it wears on?
No, it doesn't weaken him. That's what you're getting at. It's not enough to really weaken a guy. Obviously, it could have a psychological effect and start to really discourage the guy.
That is the end of round number 4. Another good round for Coleman. Meanwhile, Jose Rivera trying to get things straightened out and get the blood stopped. The last time we saw Rivera, we were in Cape Cod in July. He was taking on Kip Diggs in our Friday night flashback. And Diggs was supposed to win this fight. You know, when you look at it on paper, everyone figured that this was a fight that Diggs would probably win. But Diggs was getting rocked. Rivera was fighting a very, very good fight against Kip Diggs. And Rivera was pounding him. And Diggs didn't want to continue. He said to the referee, I don't want to keep fighting. Then after the fact, he started to argue and tried to plead his case to no avail. The referee held his ground, and rightfully so. Then some of the local guys from each camp got in the way and made for an ugly scene. But it was an interesting night and a fight that Rivera wound up getting a 5th round stoppage when Diggs really didn't show much want to continue.
Take it easy, Greg.
Well, round number 5 underway between Rivera and Pat Coleman. Rivera hurt in round number 1. And Coleman had a very good round number 4, Teddy. Landed some good power shots.
Yeah, he did. When he moves his hands, his problem is sometimes he goes to sleep a little bit. You don't stay right in front of him. Sometimes he doesn't get off. And it gives you an opportunity, and Rivera's going to have to take advantage of that opportunity. Get off and get out and kind of outbox the guy.
See the punch numbers through the 4 rounds. You see Coleman's been busier and more accurate.
See, the problem with Rivera, because Coleman doesn't throw a lot in spots, Rivera can all of a sudden start coming forward, getting off, and have some success. But that's a little bit of a false sense of security, because when Coleman starts to open up, Rivera's right there to catch him. And Coleman has the power edge and the speed edge. Rivera needs to get off, use that jab, and move to the sides a little bit. And get out and then move to the sides. Not stand right in front of Coleman. When Coleman decides to throw, Rivera doesn't want to be there. He's already shown that he can be affected by the power and combinations of Coleman. And again, I said it earlier, Rivera needs to move a little bit to his right, away from the right hand of Coleman. He's already been shown as one of the strong points of his arsenal.
Double left hand from Coleman.
Right now, Rivera's not doing anything. He's laying right in front of Coleman, allowing Coleman to have those spots we talked about.
Which suits Coleman just fine. Based on the fact that he's been the inactive guy, and you always question the stamina and condition.
When Rivera doesn't want to work, he shouldn't lay in front and allow Coleman all of a sudden to get into an offensive mode. He should step out, take a walk downtown like the old timers would say, like that. And then he threw a nice counter left hook there, made Coleman walk into it. Take a walk downtown, or take a walk around the block, or around the guy. But don't stand right in front of him. You know, sometimes you don't know what to do in there. The trainer tell you, know what not to do. Don't stay in front of your man.
That's a good idea, always.
Rivera's doing a pretty good job now. He's moving to the side, taking that walk around the corner. But he needs to move his hands. He's behind in this fight. He needs to punch, get off, take advantage of these dead spots of Coleman, and not lay in front.
Probably the slowest paced round of the first 5. Scheduled for 10.
So what you're saying is you can't change your oil every 3,000 miles because you're too busy. So you push it. Just like your cheap brother-in-law at one of those all-you-can-eats. Hey, it's your car. You want to learn the hard way? Be my guest. This is reformulated Quaker State. Protection beyond 3,000 miles under any driving conditions. You ought to change your oil on time, but if you can't, can you say insurance? Quaker State. It's been tested. It works. What more do you need to know?
Introducing the new professional high-speed rotary tool from Dremel. With digital controls and electronic feedback, it's more of everything you buy a Dremel rotary tool for. For every problem, there's a Dremel solution.
Hey, looking great. How'd you do it?
Easy. The Conair rechargeable beard and mustache trimmer. Moves in close, trims any style with laser precision.
Looking great.
To give or to keep. The Conair beard and mustache trimmer.
Not a bad seat in the house with the Blue Horizon. A very good fight between José Rivera and Pat Coleman. Round number 6 underway, scheduled for 10. Junior middleweights. No knockdowns, but Rivera was close to being down in round number 1. A right hand flush on the chin. Rope sort of held him up. He gathered his feet and was able to continue. Coleman has, I think Coleman's been rocked in this fight. Yet there's a right hand by Rivera.
Again, the flaw in Coleman is not talent. It's the lack of being consistent. Sometimes he goes a little bit dead, he doesn't do anything, and he allows his opponent those moments.
There are the numbers from round number 5. You see Rivera a bit busier, Coleman a bit more active. I thought Rivera may have carried that round closely.
Coleman is a spot fighter, Bob. He fights in spots. You could say that about Rivera, but it wouldn't be accurate because in spots here, Rivera's only fought in spots. But that's because of the respect for the power of Coleman. That's why he's fought in spots. He's been tentative, but that's not his nature. His nature is to keep working.
What I think Coleman has done, Teddy, is he stopped establishing his jab. Now he's looking to counter with big shots as opposed to working off his jab. And I don't know if that's fatigue or you lose your focus a little bit.
Sometimes that's mentality, trying to do it the easy way.
There's the jab.
Instead of being consistent and disciplined with things like the jab. You have to work at it. Sometimes you try to make it happen easy. When you have the power, you can get into that way of thinking. That's why power sometimes can hurt a guy if he's not complete in other areas or disciplined in the other areas. You can look for that power too much. Get out hustled by a lesser guy.
Short right inside by Coleman.
Rivera walks straight in. That right uppercut could be effective by Coleman.
Good hard left jab by Coleman.
Rivera has a tendency of leaning forward. You saw it there. If Coleman would throw that uppercut at the right time, you will catch a guy leaning forward.
And Rivera's nose is just a mess.
The corner hasn't really been able to, the cut man in the corner hasn't really been able to stop that.
I think it's hard to stop it when it's on the bridge, you know?
But there's more of a flow, there's no doubt about that. You got to get a little bit of help from your fighter. You got to get it stopped in the corner, and then you got to hope your fighter gives you a little time in the next round, Bob, where it doesn't get hit, where it allows the chemicals, the coagulants, the medicine to take effect.
That has not been the case. There's a chopping right hand from Coleman that just missed. Coleman's pot shotting, but doing well.
Brand new at the Home Depot. The Rigid Robo Grip 2.
After selling 12 million of the world's first self-adjusting one-handed pliers, Rigid introduces the new 10-inch Robo Grip 2.
Now it's bigger,
Stronger.
faster, and easier.
Than ever before.
Oh, yeah.
Feels very strong.
It doesn't slip.
Now, with larger jaw capacity.
Perfect for those big jobs, like sink traps and other large connections.
RoboGrip 2 generates 250% more torque for more gripping power where you need it most.
The hardened steel jaws automatically adjust to fit whatever you're working on.
Nuts and bolts, pipes and plumbing fixtures, knobs, valves, hanging hardware, and every kind of shape you can imagine. And the laminated steel construction is built extra tough for a lifetime of hard work.
Yeah, those things won't break.
I think I can go home and get rid of several different tools.
The RoboGrip 2. No toolbox is complete without it.
Call now to get your Rigid RoboGrip 2 for only $24.97 or find it at the Home Depot. RoboGrip 2, available in straight or V-notch jaw design, is backed by the Rigid lifetime warranty. Call now.
Round number 7 underway between José Rivera and Pat Coleman. And again, they're trying to stop the blood on the nose of Rivera. Pretty good fight. Coleman has shown his power. Rivera has been respectful of it. Rivera has not landed many real good, clean shots on Coleman. A couple of right hands. There's some body work that Teddy, I'm surprised Rivera hasn't used more of, based on Coleman's history.
He's a little worried too, because you go to the body pop, you have to get close to your opponent usually. And when you've been hurt, like Rivera's been hurt, you're a little leery about getting close to your opponent. And that can take away your body attack.
Power shots through 6. Coleman outlanding Rivera 55-18. That is his game.
Rivera hasn't changed much. He's still predictable, like I said at the beginning. Coming straight in the same way. It's just that Coleman allows him to get a free ride a little bit. He goes into these spots where he's not moving his hands. Now, this is going to be all up to how the judges are looking at him. Because there's been some rounds where Rivera's been the busier guy because he's been allowed to. But the harder punches, no doubt about it. When they've been thrown, it's been Coleman. Like right now, Rivera's not doing a lot, but he's doing a lot more than Coleman.
Tell your scorecard after 6, 59-56 Coleman. 58-55 for Coleman. With that 1-10-10 round.
Again, here's Coleman being inconsistent, not moving his hands. See, he knows how to fight. He's got the ability. He's the more talented guy here as far as pure ability tonight. But those inconsistent spots allows Rivera to have moments. It also allows Rivera to survive. Get himself back together.
Coleman dominated round number 1. Had Rivera hurt badly. There's that right hand.
And Coleman has to be careful again. That's been the big problem for him so far tonight, that right hand. And Rivera shouldn't walk straight in. He should feint before he comes in. Get rid of that right hand. Or come in off the right side, away from the right hand. Don't walk into it. Or just do what he's doing there. Get off and get out. Don't give the guy Coleman. You can see Coleman needs you in front of him to get off. You can see that. So a good fighter has to be able to make adjustments and take away what his opponent is doing. Don't lay in front. Get off, get out.
End of round 7. 3 more.
Today, the heartbreak of not using Western Union. Marianne, what happened?
My boyfriend was supposed to send me money to take a cruise.
But he didn't use Western Union?
No, the money never made it. I only had enough for a 3-hour tour.
Then the weather started getting rough.
And a tiny ship was tossed. We were stranded on a desert island.
No phone?
No lights?
No motor cars?
Not a single luxury.
Like Robinson Crusoe?
As primitive as can be.
All because your boyfriend didn't use Western Union.
Right, so I dumped him for a professor.
Hey, it's your money. Use Western Union, the fastest way to send money worldwide.
This holiday season, give him the best gift any man can wake up to. A Braun shaver. The #1 foil shaver worldwide.
I love the way you always treat me tenderly, but
José Rivera, 31-1 with 21 knockouts, and Pat Coleman, 25-5 with 19 knockouts, underway in round number 8, scheduled 10-rounder.
A little misunderstanding there, Bob. You see that? The referee, Frank Cappuccino's, I'm not sure that he's sure that it's been changed from an 8-rounder to a 10-rounder. He made the fighters touch gloves, and the fighters looked at him like, why are we touching gloves? This is 10-rounder. It's not an 8-rounder.
Well, there was some question as to whether this would be an 8 or a 10. Based on the fact of the length of the Ramos-Irwin fight. That fight only went 4 rounds. It was scheduled for only 8 because Ramos took it on short notice. Irwin, of course, stopped Ramos in the 4th round.
And you could see it was almost as though the veteran referee, and he's a good veteran referee, Frank Cappuccino, wasn't told that this been switched to a 10-rounder. And as I said, he was making the guys touch gloves as you do in the last round. The fighters knew. I said, hey, we're not supposed to touch them yet. There's Coleman looking for that right uppercut as Rivera comes in. Rivera's walking straight in. Bob, when you walk straight in, you're leaning a little bit. An uppercut could really fit the bill. Coleman's looking to throw that uppercut as Rivera comes in. Again, the problem with Coleman is he's looking for that counter so much that he gives Rivera opportunities to lead, to get off first, beat his man to the punch, and then get out.
And the first couple of rounds, Coleman was snapping off the jab, a couple of jabs like he does right there, and then shooting the right hand, and it was working.
Knowing you can do something, confidence is everything. You can have all the ability in the world, but until you get the confidence, it's kind of like laying bricks in a house. They can all be laid there in place, but until you put that concrete in there, they don't come together, they don't stay there. The confidence brings the talent up. It brings it out. It makes it work. You see a guy like Coleman, that's all he needs, that confidence. To be consistent. To know that he can do it. Instead of fighting in spots. There's that uppercut he's trying to land on. Rivera coming straight in. Again, Coleman's given opportunities to Rivera to get back in this fight, to be close in this fight. To make a lot of these rounds can be very close rounds here, Bob. Very close. Because he's leaving Rivera alone. Rivera is just using that jab, taking what's being given him.
Did the judges give Coleman a 10-8 round in the first round?
And you can see Rivera's a little tentative about doing too much because he's afraid he'll get nailed.
Oh, fans of the Blue Horizon don't like posturing.
Log on to dsports.com and take $20 off your purchase of $50 or more. dsports.com. Seize the D.
It's the definitive book on sports in the 20th century. In words and pictures, it brings to life our most celebrated athletes and greatest memories. ESPN Sports Century, the perfect holiday gift. In bookstores now or log on to ESPNstore.com.
If I had one of those TV rating boxes on my television, the #1 show in the country would be 11 p.m. Sports Center. Okay, maybe it won't hit #1, but it'll definitely give Dharma and Greg a run for their money.
Old-fashioned hammer and bell as we start round number 9 in the scheduled 10-round bout between Pat Coleman and José Rivera. And getting over the last couple of rounds, Coleman's punch output is going further and further down. Rivera hasn't exactly picked his up much, but he's doing enough at least probably to carry these rounds. Let's see if Coleman is a little bit busier.
Look, at the very least, Rivera's being allowed to make this fight closer, or possibly closer, and very interesting. Even though it's not exciting, but it's got the chance of being exciting if Coleman would all of a sudden pick it up.
See the numbers from round number 8. I got a 1-point edge for Coleman, 76-75. 2-point round for Coleman in round 1 when he knocked around
can see Rivera has opportunities to really start stepping it up here a little bit, but he doesn't want to go too far with it because he's been burnt before. Because if he goes too much, then he's going to allow Coleman to get off, possibly get hurt again.
We'll throw your scorecard up there. I gave mine. You have it 77-76 for Coleman. You have two even rounds in there. I do not have any even rounds. So we both agree 1-point fight. Just my math a little different. But it's not even that Rivera's done a lot to get back in it. It's that Coleman is doing less and less.
Yes, exactly. And Rivera has had opportunities to do a little bit more. But again, being that he's been hurt and knows that this guy has power, he's trying to play it as close to the vest. Do enough to win the rounds, but he doesn't want to go over the line and tempt fate, where he leaves himself to get nailed one of those counters. And he's smart about that. Although he's got to be able to balance whether or not he's doing enough to win the rounds and get back in the fight or get ahead of the fight. You want to be careful if you've been knocked down, but you also want to be able to do enough to win. Rivera hasn't made a huge adjustment. He's still right in front of you. It's just that Coleman has just stopped moving his hands. Although one adjustment I should give Rivera credit for, Bob, he's not walking straight in as much. Part of it is tentativeness, but it's working for him. You know, he's staying outside. He's not walking straight into that right hand. He's staying outside and he's just playing the outside game. You know, he doesn't want to walk into one of those bombs.
Pat Coleman not doing much. Rivera doing enough to win a round.
The Matrix on video cassette and DVD. Free your mind. What you couldn't believe at the movies now comes home. It's the movie critics call a virtual masterpiece. Buy or rent it today.
Start your day with Lycos.com. Your home base for everything from fast searches to one-stop shopping. And get just what you need from the World Wide Web. Lycos. Go get it.
Who would you like to call? Frank?
The Samsung digital wireless phone featuring internet access and voice-activated dialing. Flip the phone, shout the name, and Samsung dials the number. Samsung Digital. Everyone's invited.
José Rivera and Pat Coleman touch gloves for the start of the 10th and final round. Referee Frank Cappuccino, properly informed, it is 10.
And you could see, he said to them, he smiled a little bit. He said, okay, fellas, now you can really touch gloves. That's enough for you, that Frank Cappuccino. Does a good job.
Well, Rivera has gotten back into this fight, at least according to our scorecards, based on the fact, predominantly, that Coleman has gone inactive and inaccurate. Coleman was having his way through the first 5 rounds of this fight.
I think it's two things with Coleman, Bob. I think it's temperament. He's a little lazy, he's unsure of himself, undisciplined, whatever you want to call him. And he fights in spots. And part of it is style. He likes to counterpunch, but the problem is when a guy doesn't walk into the counters, which Rivera hasn't done after the first couple rounds, you have to make an adjustment and you have to lead. You have to use your jab and you got to go out of your shell, out of that counterpunching mentality and go forward sometimes. If you're going to be consistent with all types of fighters. Coleman's going to have to learn that.
According to CompuBox, Coleman averaged landing 22 punches a round in the first 4 rounds of the fight. Since that point, over the last 4 rounds or 5 rounds of the fight, he has only landed 10 punches a round.
Rivera gets hit 2 ways, when he walks straight in, when he pulls straight back. That time he pulled straight back, and the long right hand was able to land.
Saul Avilar and Dave Raffo on the keypad tonight.
See, that time you saw Rivera step back, Bob, but he did it from the right distance. You can't step back from close. Step back from close, the man can hit you on the way out. You got to step back when you're outside at the right distance, outside of the man's range.
Coleman's doing a lot of posturing, but He might be letting this fight just slip away.
Rivera's been fairly smart about it. For what he has, he's been as smart as he can be. He hasn't walked into too many punches after the first couple rounds. He stayed on the outside a little bit. Even though there was opportunities to come in and do more, he didn't want to do it because that's what he fed into the strength of Coleman. Because Coleman gets off when you walk right in. He counterpunches, or when you stand in front of him. So Rivera's been getting off on the outside, taking away those offensive opportunities of Coleman. There's a good uppercut by Rivera.
Well, Rivera's taking what the defense gives him.
Yes, he is.
Little dink passes for 4 yards, and he's moving the chains here in the last few minutes.
That's exactly right, just like your New York Giants did against the Jets last week.
They got chunks of targets.
Yeah, they took chunks. You're right. They didn't do many dink passes.
I know Bill Parcells is a viewer, and we wish him luck on Sunday against the Dolphins. End of the fight coming up. And Rivera did a pretty good job over the final half of the fight. Cautious, busier. Coleman was explosive earlier. Let's see how the judges score this one as they fix the bloody nose of José Rivera. Will return to the Blue Horizon after this timeout on Friday Night Fights.
Did you know Lou Diamond Phillips broke his arm filming the movie Young Guns 2 by falling off a stupid horse?
Come on, stop it.
Or how about the horse of a different color in The Wizard of Oz? It was covered with Jell-O, but the stupid horse kept eating it.
All right, enough. The horse ate your dinner. Get over it.
Fine, but next time, remember that scene in The Godfather? Yeah, I thought so. Stupid horse.
For great movies, minus the horse trivia, check out the huge selection at On Cue.
Moo.
Will you pass the meat? Crazy hook.
Time to move? StartSmart.com. Click on us and we'll hook up your phone, cable, gas, electric, and more, all for free.
I'm telling you, I can clear that house. No wood, nothing. At least I didn't hit the house.
Start your day with Lycos.com, your home base for everything from fast searches to one-stop shopping. And get just what you need from the World Wide Web. Lycos, go get it.
The Matrix on video cassette and DVD. Free your mind. What you couldn't believe at the movies now comes home. It's the movie critics call a virtual masterpiece. Buy or rent it today.
On ESPN2 is presented by Western Union Money Transfer, the fastest way to send money worldwide. And by Fred Meyer Jewelers and Littman Jewelers for all of those special occasions. Well, in round number one between José Rivera and Pat Coleman, Coleman was dominating the first round. And late in the round lands a right hand right on the chin of Rivera. Amazing he didn't go down. Ropes actually held him up. Coleman finished the first round with a barrage. In fact, through the first 4 rounds of the fight, Coleman landed an average of 22 punches around, but only 10 punches around landed on average over the last 6 rounds of the fight. You see the numbers are skewed in Coleman's favor, but Teddy, as we look at your scorecard and my scorecard alike, we both have Rivera winning it by 1 point, sweeping the last 4 rounds. Now let's find out what the judges thought. To our ring announcer, Ed Darian.
From the legendary Blue Horizon here in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, ladies and gentlemen, I've got the scoring, and here it is. Judge Ray Paquette scores 97-93, Coleman. While Judge Robert Grasso, he scores 95-95, even. And Judge Ron Greenlee, he scores it 96-93 for the winner by majority decision, Pat Cat Coleman.
Well, Pat Coleman gets the decision, and Teddy, you mentioned during the fight, in the middle parts of the fight, a lot of close rounds, could have gone either way, although Rivera probably won the last 2 rounds, definitely. So it's really hard to argue that decision.
No, you can't argue at all. As I was making my card, I realized they could go Coleman's way because he did the more damaging work. He did the more damaging punches, the bigger punches. It's just that Rivera was picking away, and was able to win some of those rounds because Coleman wasn't busy.
But Rivera's heart in the right place with the firefighters in Worcester who lost their lives battling a blaze. Still to come, Vivian Harris and Gary St. Clair. Here's Brian and Max.
All right, Bob, thank you very much. Remember, you know, Darryl Coley, the guy who's going to be fighting Oscar De La Hoya, lost to Coleman in the ring before it was turned over. Programming note coming your way here on Friday Night Fights. You got tomorrow night here on ESPN2. You got the Dallas Stars and St. Louis Blues. Brett Hull back against his former teammates once again. That's tomorrow night, 9 Eastern, right here on ESPN2. Coming up next here on Friday Night Fights, greatest fighters of the century. Max is ready to stand up and take the heat. We're back after this.